Chuck Blay. In this episode, we have Shooting Guns.
I'm Zach.
I'm Jim.
I'm Chris.
Jay.
Keith. Hallways of Grief. That's a new song that we basically just wrote over the winter, and it's not on anything yet, so you're getting a fresh cut. And I think we've only played that in Lethbridge, so it's no one knows that one yet. So,
well, you guys are through town this time because of Sled. How often do you get to Calgary? And I assume your stomping grounds is Saskatchewan and Alberta. That's where you guys do your thing, from what I've read.
We love it here. It's just been so amazingly supportive. Like Edmonton and Calgary and Winnipeg, all these prairie towns, there's a real kind of DIY spirit where all these bands get together and just kind of work with each other. And yeah, Calgary's been always so great to us. I remember we were here last year during Sled. We got to do a performance in the studio, and just to come back, the support, it's been amazing. It always feels like we were here in, I think, April, and we try to come back here every couple of months because it's just so much fun.
Well, from what I hear, bands in this region have a really nice community, and everyone knows everyone. Absolutely. And everyone houses people when they go through town, and everyone, there's always drinking buddies everywhere you go to play, and it seems fun.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Would not be doing it.
I was just going to ask, is that like the primary reason?
Oh, yeah.
Which is another reason for playing, is playing with our friends musically. So
yeah,
every time we're coming through town, it's a good chance to play with our good buddies, play music and swap tales and make a few business transactions and,
If we got into this because we thought people would like it, we probably never would have started. So, yeah, no, it's a fun place to come.
But people do like it, and there's evidence of that because somebody was long-listed for Polaris.
Yeah, that's insane, yeah.
Second time around, second album, long-listed.
Yeah.
We have... hopefully a new album coming out, too, for this year?
Yeah, we just scored the soundtrack to this Made in Saskatchewan movie called Wolf Cop. Usually when we write music, we kind of start with a riff over the winter and spend 5 months like a sculpture paring it down to a tasteful 8-minute song. And this time we had to basically write complete 1-minute songs like for the whole way through the movie, like 86 minutes of material. And then we just put together the most rockin' stuff we could on the soundtrack, and yeah, we'll see. Hopefully people like it.
We'll usually record everything, like we record all of our jams, and then go through that stuff, maybe not every week, but say 2 months later, we'll go and listen to all the things that we've worked on, think like, oh, this part works, this will work, this thing isn't working so well. So then you can come back to those ideas. I think that's kind of like the way we work best to make our songs, is just kind of sifting through tons of jams.
And I imagine it's not often that you're asked to collaborate on a project like a feature film, an indie feature film.
No.
So that must have been an interesting thing to do, and that's an interesting film as well. It's been getting a lot of hype because of, well, it sounds awesome.
Yeah.
So how was that experience?
It really just kind of came like. The executive producer of the movie had heard us through Bandcamp, and actually had used a couple of our earlier songs as like temp cuts in their working reels, and then they just reached out to us through our Facebook page and asked if we wanted to do it, and we're like, yeah. And then so they're like, do you have a studio? Can you do this? And I basically said on the phone, yeah, we got that all ready to go. And then I run down to Long and McQuaid and rent like $4,000 worth of studio gear, and then don't sleep for a couple of days. We have a studio set up, and it's like, yeah, we're good to go. So we really just we hung a bed sheet up for a projector screen, and we just kind of just faked it till we made it as best we could. So we don't really know what we're doing. So
that's how the most amazing things happen, especially in film and in the creative industries in general, is when people just go, yeah, I'll do it. I'm not sure how I'm going to do it, but I'll do it. And then what ends up happening is usually amazing.
Well, it was a test. I think it was a test for us, but it was good because, we had a different process before for working through our material, and now this one was kind of like, okay, you got a riff, let's do this, let's make it happen right now. And so on through that, we just basically built up our own studio. So it was basically a win-win, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So either way you slice it, it's awesome. So now we have a working studio, and we have kind of another experience under our belts. So.
And we wrote enough material over that period to actually pretty much have a second album, which is where Halls of Grief came from. So it kind of worked out that we had to write so much stuff. Like we had to write the whole thing in under 2 months. So we were just always in the studio anyway. So whenever we'd warm up, we'd record it and like, oh, I guess we could probably put that out. So.
That's great. That's a I think a skill set that is developed for a lot of creative people later in their career, to know how to leverage their opportunities to create things like getting a project, and then off the back of that project setting up a studio that you can then record as many albums as you ever want.
Absolutely.
We also come from a place where if you want to, like, there's the music scene in Saskatchewan is incredible, and very supportive, and it's a real party place. It's a great place to be a band, but in terms of industry, it's pretty much non-existent. So if you do want to put out records, you have to basically find a way to finance your own record. You have to know all the pressing connections. You have to do everything on your own as it is, because no one's going to do it for you. So I find a lot of bands in the prairies naturally have an inclination to think that way, where you got to like make music work for you, because no one else is going to do it for you out here.
Okay, this one is Harmonic Steppenwolf. It's from our first album, and it's our harmonic version of Steppenwolf.